Chika. We are live.
Awesome. How are you, Scott?
I'm okay. It's nice out here. Nice weather.
Mhm.
Yeah, 70s, sunny, probably just like it is in Japan, right?
Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, it's finally starting to feel like spring here, so ish. So it's really nice over here. I'm in Kyoto right now, and yeah, this is a really tourist town, but there's nobody right now. So all the beautiful temples and shrines feels like I have it all to myself sometimes.
Right. Yeah. That's nice, but after a while, you're going to miss the tourists,
Yeah,
or maybe
exactly.
not. I don't know. Maybe not. You know, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry, I've got all these screens going on. We need a production assistant. What do you think? Do you think there's an internship possibility for someone here?
Maybe.
Maybe we'll convince one of our students that this is a great opportunity to come on here and help us every week while we do this.
Yeah.
And it doesn't pay anything, but the exposure and the experience are fantastic.
Yeah. So Chika and Scott, we have been working on our Spanish records. That will be coming up. Unfortunately, we are in different parts of the world, so we can get together and rehearse or play music together and even arrange our music. But we're getting there.
We are.
And, yeah.
We are. Yeah. Anything we can do to just move the needle forward a little bit, but never be unproductive is our motto.
Right. Yeah. And luckily we have this technology, and we started using a bunch of apps to keep us, on top of things. And that's how we started incorporating this app called Slack, and we have Airtable and all these kind of things. So
yeah, no, this has been. Well, I mean, this has been awful, this whole shutting down the world thing, but it's also been an opportunity to learn a whole bunch of new skills, which is actually, something. So yeah, just trying to find something positive here. I got to say, I mean, I've been practicing so much, I actually wore down my thumbnail, which has only happened at one other time in my life. So, that's
a good sign.
That's a good sign, I guess.
Or maybe you've been what is it?
Filing?
Not shaving, the filing.
No, I realized the other day that I've been obsessively filing, shaping, and buffing my nails since 1986.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if that's a healthy thing or not, but anyway, hey, I hear we've got a pretty cool guest tonight.
Yeah, it's so amazing to have a special guest tonight, and yeah, I can't be any happier.
Right.
Have him join us.
Yeah. Pepe Romero is going to be here tonight. So, I know those of you out there who have, met him would like to say hi to him and, maybe share some stories. Those of you who have never met him probably have questions that you've always wanted to ask him. Type those into the chat. As they fit into the conversation, we'll be bringing those up. But I see no reason to make him wait a minute longer. What do you say we bring him in here and say hello?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, there he is.
Hi, Pepe.
There I am. Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I have been listening to both of you.
See, we never know if you're listening when we're talking. So, but this is being recorded and shared later. So, of course, whatever Perfect. We say will be public knowledge. We mean it. We are so honored that you are willing to come here and talk to us, for an hour or so.
I'm very happy. I missed both of you.
I know.
And I missed you this last summer.
I know. So last time we were together was in 2019, the summer in Granada, Spain.
Doesn't it feel weird though? That the last year just seems like missing time. I sort of feel like we were there last summer.
Yeah.
And then I realized it wasn't last summer; it was the summer before that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
in
Yes.
in a way. Also because those were my last decent memories before I was just sitting at home all the time. But
Yeah.
yeah,
So
we
Pepe, were you in Granada when the whole pandemic started happening?
I was in late, well, in early March,
Mm.
a year ago. I was on the way to play in Europe,
Mm.
and as normally I do, my wife and I go to Spain for a few days if we can, if we have the time. We go to Spain, spend a few days, and then do the tours or the concerts,
Mhm.
and always going back and forth from our home in Granada.
Mhm.
And we did that, arrived in Granada on March 10th, and we're supposed to fly out to Germany on the 13th. And
Mhm.
on the 12th, they closed Spain.
Oh, wow.
And I remained, Carissa and I remained in Granada until August. Late August, I came back here, and then she came back to the States also, but she came in September. And since then, I have been here. So basically, I've been in lockdown in Spain, in Granada,
Mm.
from March until August, and in California from August until now. And but this experience of the technology, I was completely, totally inept and ignorant about it. And for me, I always read books with a book, wrote with a paper and a pen, and everything very old-fashioned. But I have enjoyed very much the ability to see and to experience and to see the faces of the people I love, and to play concerts online. Last summer, I had the privilege to be able to play for both the Music and Dance Festival in Granada, which was from the Alhambra, from the Patio de los Arrayanes, and the
Wow.
concert that I gave for the Summer Arts from the Palace of Carlos V in the Alhambra. So, and to be able to do that and have all this streaming and all these modern capabilities makes it much more tolerable.
Yeah. Well, the last time I had a video chat with you, I think was July or something like that. And, I've got to say your lighting, your audio, everything is so much better now than it was. And so clearly you've done a technology upgrade there, seeing as this is, not over in a week or two. So, we all had to get lighting and HD cameras.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny. I was going to ask you, hey, how are you staying busy and creative in lockdown? But you kind of answered it. You're just sort of doing what you were doing before, but digitally. Are you working on new projects, learning new music, preparing?
Actually, I have been. It's almost like going back to the beginning. Because at the beginning, I had very few. Well, at first, I didn't have any concerts, and then were very a concert here, a concert there, while I was actually a young boy. And I was practicing then whatever I was in the mood to play. What I happened to be in love at the moment. And that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm playing the guitar more than ever. but without the specific projects
Right.
of having to make a recording, having to do a concert tour, having to play. So actually, I've been playing tons of music because I just love a lot of music.
Right. Yeah. You mentioned before you're on a Villalobos kick right now.
Yes, that was yesterday and today. I have been on a Villalobos. The day before that, I was in a Bach kick.
Oh.
And before that, I was in Spanish Renaissance.
Spanish Renaissance.
Wow.
Yes.
Mostly Vihuela?
Vihuela music, yes. And then I've gone through being totally crazy about Giuliani and playing a lot of Giuliani, and then, of course, Tárrega. So I'm having a lot of fun with the guitar. And I highly recommend it, that these difficult times, music is so powerful, is so good, is so comforting, that I totally recommend it. If you have the chance, if you already play an instrument, of course, it's spend time with your instrument. And if you don't, learn one. I have a friend of mine. He's a great ophthalmologist, very world famous doctor, and he's in retirement. Recently had some very serious. His wife passed away, and he's starting to play the piano. And there, he's totally coming to the piano and the music. He's always loved music, but the piano is coming to the rescue. There's something very special about playing an instrument at whatever level you can. We don't have to be a virtuoso. There is something so special about the communication with the instrument, even at a very, very basic level.
Yeah, I remember actually when I first started playing was actually some of the most enjoyable times I'd had with the instrument. You know, it's like when you pick up a sport or something, when you start really caring about it, it gets really serious. It gets a little bit more stressful. But you know, when you're playing just like a child and you're just free, and you're discovering that's actually the funnest time for a lot of people with the instrument. But Chika and I had a conversation a week or so ago with a music therapist, and he was talking about the power of music as a way to connect with others and with yourself and things like that.
Yes.
And so all of these things that, you know, as artists we intuitively knew, you know, academics are studying this, and you know, it's completely backed up by science, by psychology. Which, you know, I didn't need to hear a psychologist tell me that. I knew.
You knew it. You knew it. And I don't know. You were talking about as a child, when you don't have the responsibility of a career, having more fun and more freedom with the music and with the instrument, with the guitar or the saxophone or whatever the instrument. For me, I don't know if the guitar and music kept the child alive in me for 70 years of concertizing solo. This next year, I will be celebrating 70 years since my first concert, 60 years since the quartet. My family and I started the quartet.
Right.
And thousands of concerts and many recordings and a lot of high-level responsibility concerts and recordings. But the child in me was always alive. And I don't know if music kept that and made it possible that I always had that easy connection with the music, or maybe I'm just childish by nature.
Well, that reminds me of a funny meme I saw in social media, and it was a child talking to his mother, and he said, "Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a musician." And she says, "Well, you're going to have to choose which one because you can't do both." So
It's true. It's true.
I think
I
so.
completely believe it. I completely believe it that if you're a musician, you just don't grow up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Eric Satie, one of my favorite composers, always spoke about you have to have a childlike relationship with music. And that was sort of his philosophy in composing was it was, purposely childlike. And of course he also has the famous quote, when I was a child, they said, when you grow up, you'll see. I'm 50 now and I still haven't seen anything, which is a little cynical, but it's sort of that I didn't grow up. I don't know what you're talking about. Which I like.
I actually feel that. And really, I'm very grateful for it.
Yeah. To keep that spirit going.
Yes, to keep that spirit.
I noticed a lot of composers and active touring artists tend to live to quite old age and be, very productive. I think about, Horowitz and Segovia and your father, of course.
Yes.
Stravinsky, Bernstein, Copeland. Everybody's north of 90, creeping up on 100, and they've got all of their wits about them. They're active. They're creative. I think music keeps something alive in you. Which, a lot of people retire and it just sort of turns to mush.
Yeah. Well, the one thing is we never retire.
Right.
Yeah.
We maybe stop playing concerts or stop the professional life. But I cannot imagine
the creative side of you.
To keep it going. I know that my father played and loved music to the very end. And even when today, then I was playing Villalobos, I remember that about a week before he passed away, he got really excited. And he was not even thinking, he was not even playing the guitar at the moment. But he got very excited and said, Pepe, I just figured out exactly how to eliminate all the squeaks from Villalobos. Because you know that Villalobos has a lot of glissandos and a lot of the same chord up and down the fingerboard.
Yes, the bass strings.
Yes, and the bass string. And he was working out his technique, even in his mind, to the very last moment.
Do you remember what he said about that? Because I do play a lot of Villalobos, and those squeaks drive me crazy.
The squeak is that people try to take the lift. You either have to lift completely off, or actually
on the side.
You put a little more pressure, not less, but a little more. And before you start moving, you slide the finger so that the flesh is on the side.
So you're not on the tip of the callus. That's yeah.
Well, you are on the callus. You are on the callus, but you've moved the callus to the side.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you apply a little extra pressure and eliminates the squeak.
Yeah, those Benjamin Verdery told me a funny story about playing at in Manhattan. I think it was at a retirement home. You know, they have these communities and they have concert series, and he thought he was playing great. It was probably Prelude 1 or something like that, and it's like, oh, I'm making these people's day, and this woman goes, "What's that squeaking?" And she goes, "What's that squeaking?" And apparently never really quite got over that. You know, she wasn't holding back. What's that squeaking? But,
so
anyway.
Squeaking is not really the beauty of it. You want to eliminate it.
Well, I don't like it.
Yeah, I use recording strings in the studio to avoid it.
Yeah, I don't like it, and actually, that's not so far off, because recording strings are a version of kind of the bass strings that Villalobos probably used. They were not called recording strings, but they were made with silk inside.
Yeah.
And they were much more quiet.
Yeah. 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 Or, you know, I think what Williams would purposely sometimes not change his strings right before a concert, because it's like,
that's right.
They can either be bright or they can, you know, they can either be dull or they can be squeaky. Your choice. But file your calluses. The non-guitar players, I'm sure, finding this fascinating that we're talking about squeaking strings all the time. But you know, the struggle is real.
The struggle is well, every instrumentalist has some kind of extraneous noise that the instrument itself makes, and we want to minimize it.
Yeah,
I've worked very hard all my life to squeak as little as possible.
Everybody should be able to say the same thing. Great. Pepe, you mentioned the 60 years with the quartet, and I think it was last week I watched on YouTube a wonderful documentary about the quartet, and I believe it said directed by Vicente Covas, which that can't be right.
It is correct. It is exactly right.
Vicente's directorial debut. It was very, very good. It was very moving.
Yes.
I guess I'm just wondering what was the genesis behind the documentary, and how much did you actually listen to Vicente?
Actually, I was sitting here with Carissa in this room, and I thought we had all these plans, massive tours of the United States, of Europe, and to celebrate this event, which is not only 60 years for our quartet, it's 60 years for the guitar quartet as a genre.
Yeah.
And it was so I wanted to do something, and I thought maybe we play a concert on Zoom. But then we were being very careful, and Lito was in Los Angeles. He had been visiting his children, so it became kind of a problem to get together in the same room and play a concert. And I was talking to Vicente and told him that I wanted to do something. You know how he is.
I definitely do.
His mind is working at a supersonic speed. And the next thing, he was doing a documentary that we aired exactly at 7:30 on January 20th, which 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, and that was 60 years exactly from the first concert. The first concert coincided with the inauguration of President Kennedy. And the documentary coincided with the inauguration of President Biden.
Wow. And the first concert was I always forget the name. Is it the hall on the west side of Los Angeles? Is that correct?
Wilshire Evil.
That's it. Yes.
The Wilshire Evil Theater. Yes.
I wonder, the last time I was in that theater, and I've been there several times, was the debut concert with Matt Greif as a member of the LAGQ. That was the Wilshire Bell.
Oh.
And I wonder if they did that because of you. I don't know. I didn't.
I don't know. I never asked them that. But maybe it was just coincidence. Destiny have a funny way of directing things its own way.
It's yes, it does. I was just about to say, tying everything together. I went to that concert with Nico Bolas, the record producer, who made the CD with Chika and I. So, there you go. Because his mother, Mary Bolas, was a huge Los Romeros fan, and we got her tickets, and she ran into you in the lobby for the meet and greet after, and she was. You made her day.
Yeah, and he told us that story at our, when we were making the record.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah,
but things happen, and it seems that it is all just a coincidence. But who knows? I remember my first recording was a result of a concert that I did. I shared. I was invited to play with a comedian. This is even before the Wilshire Evil. I was invited to play with a comedian named Lord Buckley. Lord Buckley was an English comedian, and he used to do concerts, but he shared his concerts and he asked me to share the concert with him. So we divided it into 4 segments. I would play, he would have a segment, a monologue, and then intermission, then I would play, and then he would have his last one. And this took place at another theater in Hollywood, the Ivor Theater. The Ivor Theater, I think, is long gone. I don't think it even exists. But it was a small theater where things like a concert of comedy and I was 15 years old, or 14. At that time, I was 14 years old. Spanish guitarist would play, and Andre Previn came to the concert.
Wow.
And it was with that connection that Andre Previn liked the way I play, and he went to Contemporary Records and was a jazz label in Los Angeles, and told them, and that's how I got my first record with Contemporary Records when I was 15 years old. And my father and Celine shared a recording. So that was the beginning of the recording career.
That was your flamenco record, right?
That was my flamenco record. But in the concert, I didn't play I played some flamenco, but I played actually mostly classical. But when it came time to perform, to do the recordings, because we wanted to have one recording of mine and one of my father and Celine, we divide the repertoire.
Mm-hmm.
For that reason, that was the same reason that the first years of the quartet, all my solos were flamenco, because we were dividing the repertoire, and in my family, I was the only one for a long time to play flamenco. Nobody else played it. My father was a wonderful composer that he used the flamenco forms to compose, but he himself as a player never did play it. And Angel also played flamenco, but he started later. I fell in love with it in Spain when I was a kid, and I learned it. So being the only one that played it, that's the part I played in the quartet concerts.
Yeah. What when we have our students go to Spain every summer, I always make sure that they get a healthy dose of flamenco while they're there.
It's fantastic.
Kai
It's amazing.
Yeah, Kai does his classes in the morning, and then Luis Mariano, he does his thing, and we had Geronimo do something, I think, one year. What could you articulate the benefits of a classical guitar player studying flamenco? Maybe they don't have to do a deep dive, but rasgueados and
not a deep dive, but you just said it, rasgueados. Physically, rasgueados puts your right hand in a position that is this exactly the right position from which you play arpeggios, scales, chords, and you are not only exercising the movement of contracting the hand, which we are always doing to play classical, but
extensors
to extend, and the speed in which you extend and the speed in which you have to return, it increases the health. It exercises the health of the right hand and puts it in just about as perfect and natural position. It's almost impossible to do a rasgueado from an awkward, forced, tense position. So technically, for the right hand, it has immense benefits, amazing benefits for the technique of classical music as well. Then the next thing is musically Spanish music. The Spanish nationalistic, Albéniz, Rodrigo, De Falla, Turina, Torroba, all the great Spanish composers that have written and that are such a strong part of the repertoire of the guitar, of the classical guitar, are very deeply rooted in the flamenco modalities and the flamenco music
and the nuance. Yeah.
So the more you know, the better you understand their music, the better you know what they are trying to say. I have heard so many so many versions of the homenaje a Tárrega that begins, the first movement is a Soleares. The last movement is a Garrotín. These are two very traditional flamenco rhythms and flamenco forms. And Turina doesn't put where the accents fall, because by saying Soleares, you are supposed to know where the accents in a Soleares happen.
It's intuitive. It's already.
You know it. It's like composers, when they write mazurka, they don't put where you are supposed to know what the mazurka is like.
Yeah, they don't put the accent marks in. You're just supposed to know where they go.
You're supposed to know where they go.
Yeah, or saraband or something.
Saraband, exactly. Chacon, you're supposed to know.
I love the compás in the chacon.
Yes, and the understanding of flamenco music is wonderfully helpful to understanding Spanish music.
Yes. Yes.
And to myself, who is very new to guitar music and also to flamenco music, listening to it was just the rhythm itself. It was very complex to me.
Oh, it is. It's incredible. But you just before this, before we went on the air, we were talking about Gershwin. To understand Gershwin, it helps to know a little bit and have a feeling for jazz.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And Pepe, the next time we're all in Granada, I think the way to get Chika, appropriately introduced to flamenco is we all head back up to Sacromonte, to the caves on a Wednesday night. I think is when
yes.
Your favorite dancer, is it Ivan?
Ivan Vargas.
That is a powerful, touristy but powerful introduction. I had a blast at that, and Chika, the dancers, they're right in front of you, and it's a little intimidating. They're so intense.
They are very. Well, flamenco is very intense music.
Yeah.
And be prepared. I am sure, did they ask you, Chika, to dance at the end of the show?
They will.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Of course they will. Yeah. But don't laugh so much, Scott. You might get asked to dance yourself.
I'm very good at avoiding eye contact. I think I'm about to get put on the spot. I'll pretend to be on the phone, and I know you can't get reception in the cave, but I don't care.
I know the dancers there very well, and I will make sure I'll go and say, don't forget the red-haired man.
But Pepe, in Spain, you usually get me out of horrible situations, not into them.
Well, that was before.
Yeah. There's a story we won't tell here, but Pepe got me out of a very horrible culinary experience.
Oh.
Yes.
Yes, it's not very.
But flamenco in not this coming year, but the year after is the anniversary of the 1922 Flamenco Festival that Manuel de Falla, Salvador Dalí, Turina, Lorca, they had a flamenco festival, very, very, very great and very famous, and with tremendously powerful consequences for the music and for the art of flamenco, and we'll be celebrating it. It took place in Granada, in the Alhambra. So, like you say, flamenco is a great part of the Granada Festival.
Yes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yes. And maybe we just get a little bit of a glimpse of Duende.
The Duende is there. The Duende didn't get scared by the pandemic or anything. The Duende doesn't leave Granada.
What's a duende?
Or Duende is an invisible spirit
Ooh.
that it infects you with the love for life, the love for music, the love for love, and it inspires you. It's the part of that musicians we need to be able to make music not a routine, but an inspire and a moving and an unforgettable experience.
Yeah, isn't it a bit like in some other styles of music what they might call soul, or
yes, soul, but
a little.
Duende is both. It has a touch of being naughty, but it's a very profound, beautiful experience. It's a very complete experience of the arts.
Mm.
Well, that means we need to have even more flamenco in the festival and in the course that year. And
we will.
Yeah.
We will
Yeah.
on that year.
yes, that sounds great.
But we are planning on having quite a bit this year, this summer coming up as well.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, we were saying before, the virus doesn't care that we have plans this summer, so it's entirely up to the virus what we're going to actually end up doing. But for those of you who don't know, we've been going to Spain since 2016, 2017.
Right.
It's been several years, and through a program called CSU Summer Arts, we bring students, mostly from California, young guitar students, college age, to Granada, and obviously they get to play master classes and things like that with Pepe and other guest artists. But the most important thing is they get to be in Granada. They get to be in Andalusia. They get to experience the culture of this music that they already love, but they don't maybe know exactly where it came from. Kind of like a jazz musician going to Harlem or New Orleans or something like that. To really understand this is where it this is the mothership.
That's right. That's right.
And we're certainly hoping to get back this year. I think August 18th, that Monday.
I think we should be able to.
You think?
I think so. I'm very hopeful.
Yeah, I hope so too. There's a concert at the Alhambra that night, so don't want to miss that. But yeah, and I should mention that the course comes together with the festival, and Vicente Covas, who we were talking about a moment ago, who directed the Los Romero's 60th anniversary documentary, is the director of that festival, and somebody who always seems to know how to get doors to open in Granada, which is a wonderful thing. But we've had some wonderful experiences in Spain with you, Pepe.
Yes.
We know the mayor of Granada, but I still sort of think of you as the mayor of Granada, even though we've been to City Hall several times and taken photos with the elected mayor. But walking around town with you actually gets much more notice.
Well, I love it, and we've had some incredible experiences. Remember the lunar eclipse over the Alhambra, sitting in the terrace there.
Yes, that was 2018.
Yes,
I think it was.
You sent me the photo.
It was a blood moon with
a total eclipse.
a total eclipse.
Wow.
And we watched it from the roof of your home
Yes.
happen over the Alhambra Palace.
Wow.
And I had the opportunity the last time you were there to witness something very magical on that very same rooftop. I got to see both of you play Granada as I was sitting in the lower patio having a glass of red wine and a Cuban cigar.
That's right.
Preparing plates of tapas that your wife
Carissa was making tapas,
Mhm.
and I was listening to the two of you do the video of Granada by Albeniz.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
that was
So that was
great.
pretty magical.
Yeah, I occasionally get people commenting like, "Wow, that is amazing green screen work. How did you do that?" No,
That's real.
it's
Yes.
real. Why can't you
Yeah.
tell? It's
Yeah.
real. But yeah, the view from your home is it's literally hard for some people to believe.
Mm.
It is.
It's right across from the palace. And yeah, what a view from your living room and also your patio.
Yes. That I guess we were kind of joking around about buying that property just below yours. I guess
Yes, it still is for sale.
Is it for sale?
Yes.
I'll have to check the price and talk to my accountant.
Yes.
see if that's happening. But yeah, I'm going to do everything in my power to get back there this summer. It's such a shame to have missed it this last year. It's the highlight of my year, and I always tell people, and it's not a joke when I say, the students are like, "Oh, thank you so much for this experience." It's like, I'm here for me. You helped me get here, but I'm here for me, and I'm here to listen to Pepe Romero, because if I don't get my annual Pepe inspirational tune-up,
Thank you.
I can get into a rut or something like that.
Thank you.
You've been inspiring me since I was 19 in Salzburg. Remember?
That's another beautiful place.
That was a lot of fun. That was back at the Mozarteum in Salzburg. I think 89, 90, something like that.
Yes.
But the whole Alex and Heike and everybody was there, and it was a fun group. But yeah, so it's been a long time, and you've been
we've been in the pursuit of music, happiness, friendship, and all those beautiful things.
Yes.
Yeah.
You're so good at keeping things beautiful and creative, and not turning them. What am I trying to say? You keep the magic in your music better than any artist I've ever met in any style of music.
Thank you.
It's truly amazing. I guess you already kind of mentioned like how you do that, but if you've got
for me, the most important thing is that I do believe in magic. I believe that magic exists. And I also believe that every problem comes with a solution. And sometimes the solution is very well hidden. But we never can give up looking for the solution and for the belief of magic. And never, ever stop feeling the love for one another. I think we are very fortunate that we have music, because through music, we can say what we sometimes is impossible to say with words. How do you get out in front of thousands of people or hundreds or that you have never met and tell them, I love you, and really mean it? Better than by playing a beautiful piece, a beautiful phrase, a beautiful piece of music. How else can you open your arms, your heart, and embrace everyone in a room, not knowing who they are, not knowing what they believe, not knowing anything about them except that they are just like you, human beings, and embrace them, give them your most inner secrets, that with music you become very vulnerable because you do open your heart to all who are listening. And in doing so, then everybody is finishing the magical task that the composer starts. Because the composer starts in a mystical moment, in a trance in which he is touched, or she is touched by the spark of inspiration and love. And that then he puts it down on a piece of paper. But that piece of paper becomes a map. It becomes only a way for other people to come in and read that map and produce the sounds that are hidden in it. But the truth is that the person who's listening to the music is the one that is finishing the composition. The composition is not finished until it's heard. And we get to do that.
Yeah. What a privilege.
Yes.
What a privilege. If you get to do that and you don't believe in magic, then there's something wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's. I hope everybody who hears this really listens to what you just said and understands that music is a way to connect with, like you said, people you've never met, with composers who are long gone, with something beautiful yet inexplicable, something profound. And if you can't call it magic, then maybe someone's just uncomfortable with the word, but they can't deny what it is.
No, it's whatever. You can call it anything you want, but the truth is that I have been enjoying not only the music of these great composers, but their friendship. I've been enjoying getting to know them personally, because through the music, you get to know and experience a human being, even if they wrote it hundreds of years ago.
Yeah.
And maybe in another part of the world that you may not even know. And you get to have a human experience with somebody that maybe is not alive anymore, then you have never met, and you never will have the opportunity to meet this person, but you do through the music. So I get very involved with the human connection with the composers of the music I play.
Yeah.
In a way, being a musician and having played the guitar and having these feelings is like being able to become Peter Pan.
Yeah.
And we all have that possibility. We all can become Peter Pan.
Yeah. If I grow up, you're going to be outside my window knocking on it, going.
Of course, I will be. I will be there, Scott.
So something you said about the composer having this moment where they're putting these thoughts that come to them to paper and writing it down. I remember you saying you should never learn a piece of music faster than it took the composer to write it.
I believe that, yes.
I found that very, very helpful.
Yes.
So you really get to know.
You have to know everything about it.
Yeah.
Right.
And take your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the problem, I think, these days is that we, especially maybe for students, they feel like they have to know so many repertoires and learn so many all at once. But you really realize, even as a teacher too, it's to take time, like learn about the history, learn about the composer, learn about the instrument. Yeah, you have to embrace everything.
And even if you want to play a lot of music and learn a lot of repertoire, do it one at a time.
Yeah.
So that you can really connect to every note and every sound and every silence that is between the notes.
Yeah.
Wow. See, I didn't get to go to Spain this year, but I still got my inspirational moment here. So
thank you.
Thank you.
I always love seeing both of you.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, we're all over the world right now, but hopefully we'll all be back together sooner rather than later.
I really enjoyed so much your recording, and I am very much looking forward to see what comes out. What is the next thing to come out of that love affair between the guitar and the saxophone?
It's all Spanish music. You've heard some of it already.
I know. But I'm looking forward to what I haven't heard and to a repeat of what I already know.
Thank you so much, Maestro. It was a privilege and an honor to have you here with us, and I cannot wait to see you again, and hopefully Spain works out this summer, but if not, you got to know we'll be back there next year.
I hope so. I hope very, very much that we all get to be there in person.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I want to hear all your stories and
yes,
and have tapas and go to the caves.
I tried to make croquetas and they were awful.
They were?
I try. You shred the potatoes and then put them in the bowls, then the jamon y queso, and then I have an air fryer and try it. It's not the same.
No. Call Carissa.
Okay.
Have her guide you.
Okay, I can do a Spanish tortilla pretty well, but my croquetas are just
not
inedible.
So good. Well,
but we have to go down to that restaurant you like by the river.
We go down to the cave and have the grandmother, the older gypsy in the cave of La Rocio teach you
Mm.
how to do croquetas.
Oh,
Oh, that's a real
That-
thing.
yeah. Now you got to get the recipe, abuela.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
Okay, I wrote that down to remind you that you'll help me with my croquetas.
Well, I personally won. I'll
Right.
help you eat them,
Of course.
but I'll guide you to the right person.
Okay. I any help I can get, I will take it. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thank you for inviting me. It was a great pleasure to see both of you and to spend this time with you.
Okay, and
you
everybody who watched this live, or the many people who watch this later on once we post it, we hope you enjoyed the conversation as well, and hope to see you all again next week.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.